Let's solve this question on the screen. The question says 4 raised to power s minus 1 minus log 256 in base 4 is equals to 0. We are asked to find the value of x. So what we are going to start first is to deal with 256. Remember that 256 is the same thing as 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16, and 16 times 4 is 64, and 64 times 4 gives us what? 256, and it's the same thing as what? 4 raised to power 4. So we are going to replace this 256 with 4 raised to power 4. Then we are going to have 4 raised to power s minus 1 minus log 4 raised to power 4 in base 4 is equals to 0. At this point, we are going to apply two law of negativity. One of the laws is that when we have log a in base a, where this was log a raised to power n in base a, is the same thing as saying log what? A in base a. Alright? And another law states that when you have log of the same base is equals to 1, that means automatically this place now is equals to 1. So what we are going to do, we are going to say 4 raised to power x minus 1 minus what? 4 log 4 in base 4 is equals to 0. Then we now apply this law, that is, whenever you have a logarithm that both the log and the base are the same, the answer is 1. So then we are going to replace this log 4 in base 4 with 1. Then we are going to have 4 raised to power s minus 1 minus what? Log 4 into 1 is equals to 0. Do you know how come about this one? Logarithm of the same base is equals to what? 1. So at this point, we are going to have what? 4 raised to power s minus 1 is equals to what? Minus 4 is equals to 0 as a result of what? Minus 4 times 1. Then we can now have 4 raised to power s minus 1 is equals to what? Is equals to what? 4. That is, I throw this one by having, okay, let me not join step. It will now become 0 plus what? 4. Alright, so at this point we are going to have what? 4 raised to power s minus 1 is equals to 1 is equals to 4. So I can decide to write this as what? 4 raised to power s minus 1 is equals to what? 4 raised to power 1, because ordinary 4 is the same thing as 4 raised to power 1. Now that the bases are the same, I'm going to equate the power. That is, I'll now say s minus 1 is equals to 1. Okay, and then my s now is equals to 1 plus 1. Alright, then s is equals to 2. So the value of x is equals to 2.